We're counting down to the huge fight this weekend between Vasily Lomachenko and Luke Campbell. We can cross now to our reporter Fraser Dainton, who's at York Hall for us. Hi, Fraser.
Yeah, very good afternoon to you from Bethnal Green, York Hall, of course. Effectively, hallowed turf if you're a boxing fan. Pretty much anybody who's anybody has boxed here at some point during their career, including, of course, Vasily Lomachenko, who has now gone on since then, of course, to be considered possibly, if not the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world. Now, when you talk about pound-for-pound top fighters, that always sets off a little bit of an argument. So I thought I'd have one with two guys I know very well who have watched an awful lot of boxing over the years. I've got Kugan Cassius with me from IFL TV, and I've also got our very own Spencer Oliver. I'll start the ball rolling then, boys, by first of all, I'll say my top three at the moment, pound for pound, I would go with Vasily Lomachenko as #1. Second, Terence Bud Crawford. Third, Alexander Usyk. So, Kugan, who are you going to go for?
I just want to point out Spencer Oliver is standing on a step. My top three are very similar to yours, Fraser. Would be #1 would be Vasily Lomachenko, #2 would be Terence Crawford, but my #3 would be Saul Alvarez Canelo.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because we've been talking about this, and there's different names been going through my head for the last few hours, because there's really like 6 or 7 you could have in your top three. But yeah, I think for me it would be Lomachenko would be #1, Terence Crawford would be #2, and Inoue would slip in there for #3 for me.
Yeah, no one going to go for Triple G here at all, Gennady Golovkin?
I think you've got to put Canelo ahead of Triple G. I know they had their 2 fights, but everyone has their thoughts about the first one, clearly. But Canelo's only suffered that 1 defeat in his career. He's got to be in that top 3 for me.
Yeah, I think that these are the 5 or 6 names that we're talking about. How can I not have Canelo in a top 3? And he's been in at #2, he's been at #3. Never had him at #1 because it's Lomachenko for me. He's a clear pound-for-pound king at the moment. But yeah, I think he's very close to the top 3. He would probably slip in at #4 or something as well. There's Alexander Usyk as well. How can you not have this guy in your #3? It's like there is so many good names. Boxing at the moment is flying.
We're all agreed, though, Vasily Lomachenko, the man right at the top of the moment. Kugan, for you, what is it that makes this guy so special?
Well, he's throwing punches from angles that, you know,
Don't seem to exist,
and probably he doesn't see coming. But I think, listen, we waited a long time for Lomachenko to turn professional. He had that stunning amateur career where he only suffered 1 defeat in, 300 fights. And obviously, his first world title attempt, he lost in his second fight to Salido. But since then, the momentum's with Lomachenko. And I think as we're seeing him kind of fight by fight, we're seeing exactly how special he is. And this is a tall order for Luke Campbell. We saw Anthony Crolla come up short against Lomachenko, and there's no shame in it. But, you know, people knocking Campbell for taking this fight are crazy in itself, because they're in the sport to fight the best. So if you don't want to fight Lomachenko and he's around your weight, then you're in the wrong sport.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Anthony Crolla's a different kind of fighter, but if you look at Luke Campbell, he's got a height advantage, he's got a reach advantage. He'll probably have something of a weight advantage when he gets into the ring as well. Is he probably going to be Vasily Lomachenko's toughest career test so far, do you think?
Well, it's funny, we were speaking to Lomachenko about this yesterday, and he seems to think that. He said that, you know, with the attributes that Luke Campbell's got, with the reach advantages, he carries power, he's got the height, and he's got that good boxing IQ as well. He knows how, you know, he knows how to adjust fights. So it might take Lomachenko a few rounds to work him out and sort of do it, but he's such a master at that. And you're right, Kugan, you know, this is a guy that's only had 14 professional fights, nearly 400 amateur fights. He had only losing the 1, 14 professional fights, lost the 1. But look at the record, the people that he's beat. Nicholas Walters, he beat Linares, he beat Gary Russell, he
took Guillermo Rigondeaux to school, didn't he?
And Rigondeaux was considered at the time pound-for-pound king. I mean, the guy is just on another level. And this, make no doubt about it, this is a mountain to climb for Luke Campbell, and I think that he knows that this is a massive task ahead, and you know, that we're all wishing him that he can do it, but it's a tall order, I've got to admit.
The only person that needs to believe he can win on the night is Luke Campbell and the team. That's it. It's irrelevant what anyone else thinks. He has to believe that he can go in there and win on the night, which he does. You know, we've heard George Groves come out and say that he's firmly backing Campbell to do this. Obviously, there's a heavy team affiliation there, but listen, it would be one of the biggest upsets in boxing ever. But listen, stranger things have happened, so, or have they? I don't know.
We have seen some upsets over the years. Well, finish it off by, we're expecting it to be something very, very special on Saturday night. So tell us, what is your favourite memory? It's the best fight you have actually seen in the flesh? Spencer, you go.
I think the best fight I've seen in the flesh, I've got two that come to mind. Ricky Hatton versus Cassius, that memorable night up in Manchester when Ricky Hatton was the massive underdog going into that one. I think Cassius was a pound-for-pound king, or he was one of the best at the time, and Hatton put in a memorable performance, coming from behind and then stopping Zhu in the late rounds. And obviously, Anthony Joshua at Wembley in that historic moment when he beat Vladimir Klitschko. That was a memorable night for me as well.
Very good.
Yeah, I wasn't at the Klitschko Joshua fight, but I heard it was great.
Point.
It was great. But I was fortunate enough to be at the Corrales-Castillo fight back in 2005, and that would have to be the best fight I've not just been at, but seen anywhere. I mean, that fight had absolutely everything, and what happened at 10th round was probably one of the most dramatic endings, and well, from start to finish, the knockdowns, the gumshoe spit out. That's got to be one of the best fights of all time, regardless. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to be there that night. So.
I'll throw my last one in then, and that will be when Joe Calzaghe took Jeff Left Hook Lacey to school and absolutely taught him a lesson. Lessons will be learned this weekend, no doubt, of course, as we look forward to what should be an absolutely fantastic event here on Saturday night at the O2. But all the workouts are happening here at York Hall, Bethnal Green tonight from 5 o'clock. If you're in the area, get yourself down. If not, we'll, of course, bring you all the best of the action right here.
Thanks, Fraser. Well, ahead of that fight, we've got a special countdown show, Sky Sports News, tomorrow, 6:30 in the evening. You can see the main event, Loma-Campbell against Campbell, Saturday live, Sky Sports box office from 6 p.m. Book it via your Sky remote or go online for more information.
England return to action tomorrow night, and they have their sights set on the Euro 2021 Championship. We're live to training later this afternoon.